Hello everybody. Today on this step of the menu functionality we will be working on the drop slot. So as you can see, when we drop things, if it's just one, it automatically drops. If we have two of them, it's going to ask us how many we want to drop. We drop two. We drop two. Refreshes the inventory. Look, they're kind of stacked into each other. Sorry, guys. Or we can do it from here. Hit the drop button. It's going to ask us how many we want to drop. Put two. And as you can see there, back up to 3. Awesome. So, starting off, we'll go ahead and create a new widget. Call it WB drop item amount, or drop whatever you want to call it. A couple variables inside of here that you want to make are an inventory variable. It's an array type, and of the type BP master item class. Items to drop, it's just an integer variable. Item to handle, that's just going to be another class reference, single reference, not an array, of the BP master item. Then, very important, over in the designer, this is how I did it. Make sure that the down button, the up button, and the drop button are all variables. Also, make a border around it. Make sure it is a variable. And put it all into these boxes just to make everything look pretty. So again, the down button, the drop button, the item amount text, the border around, and the up button. Sorry, I didn't mention the item amount text. That's just his text in the middle. Alright, starting off simple up here. We don't need this now. Just checking to see if I was hovering on the button. We're going to start with the up button, which is this one right here, and then the down button, obviously, respectively. We're going to get that integer of the items to drop, increment it up, increment it down. Pretty self-explanatory. We're going to change that text in that. That's why I made it a variable, just so we can change it. Items to drop is going to start off at 1. Now, on the actual drop part of it, we're going to get the button on pressed. We're going to get the items to drop, get a for loop. For the loop part, for the body of it, we're going to get the inventory array, get a find out of the array, get the item to handle, plug it in. If it's greater or equal to 0, then we're going to call the function drop item from the get owning player pawn, the AC inventory component. We've had this for a while. I'll click on it just to show you guys, just that normal drop item function in our AC inventory component. We're going to plug in the item to handle in there. And then we're going to hide the inventory, show the inventory. This is just refreshing the inventory. That's all that we're doing here from the AC inventory component. Make sure you drag it out from there. And that's going to be called uncompleted, just so we refresh once we drop the item. The next step is we're going to go to the AC inventory component, and we're going to go to the we're going to make a new function called create split item amount. Widget blueprint is what we called it. We're going to put an input of BP master item class reference, just a single reference, not an array. I will show you where this call it item to handle, and I'll show you where this item to handle comes into just a second. We're going to make a widget. Make sure that whenever on this widget, the item to handle is instance editable and exposed on spawn, and so is the inventory. That will make these pop up. Pull in the inventory variable that we already have here. Plug in the item to handle into the input that we created for the function. Promote this to a variable. Out of this widget, grab that border, because that's the only way that we can get it to move to the mouse position that we want it to be. I don't know why. For some reason, if we just try and grab the widget itself, it doesn't work. But add it to the viewport like normal, get the mouse position, and then that's how we set it again with the border. Alright, now over here to the item to handle, there's two places we're going to get this. We're either going to get this whenever we drop the button, whenever we press the drop button here, right here, and whenever we drag it into the slot. Oh, and there's two of them though, because if there's just one, why would we need to ask how many to drop? So that's where we will be going next, which is in this item to handle. First, we're going to go to the WB inventory slot, and we're just going to make this thing here called current stack. And make it an integer. Over on item menu, make sure, on this current stack, make sure that it is of 1 value, not 0. Then we're going to go back over to this item menu, and it's going to be the first place that we're going to be finding the item to handle right here. So for this AC inventory component, this item to handle, where we're plugging it in, the first place we're plugging it in is in the item menu. Make a boolean, call it has stack. If it's, make sure it's instance editable and it's exposed on spawn. Pull it off of the undrop button. Get a branch. Plug in has stack. If it's true, then we're going to call the function from the AC inventory component, which is right here. This is just a collapse function. We're going to, from the AC inventory component, call that function create the widget blueprint split item amount. And we're going to plug in the held item here for the item to handle. Then we're going to call remove from parent to get rid of the widget. If it's false, if the item doesn't have a stack, if it's just one, then we're immediately going to drop it. That's why if there's two, it will ask the question, but if there's just one, it will just drop it, and then it refreshes the inventory here. Alright. Now, like I said, make sure that's instance editable and exposed on spawn. So that way, here on the create WB item menu widget, when you refresh it, it will have a boolean for has stack. Get that current stack variable we made earlier. Get if it's greater than 1, and plug that into the has stack. That's just saying if the current stack is greater than 1, then we create the item menu widget to ask us if we want to create, if we want to drop 2 or more. And then over here on the drop slot is the other place where we're going to pull in the item to handle. On the drop slot, we're just going to pull out of the WB inventory slot, get current stack if it's greater than 1. Then we are going to call the function inside the AC inventory component, create the split item amount. And if it is not true, then we are going to just drop the item and refresh the inventory. Basically the same thing that we did in the item menu here, but in this one it's just in the drop slot. So if you drop it in there and there's less than 2, it's just going to drop it. But if there's more than 2, it's going to create the widget that asks you how many you want to drop. Alright. Thanks for watching, y'all.